Afternoon all. Hey, Gary's boss. He's not working, he's watching YouTube. Afternoon all. Hi Andy, Gary, David, William. How are we all doing? Working hard, I see. Still in this DAX from this morning. We haven't really gone anywhere. I did get down to somewhere. I don't know what that went up to, but I broke even, stopped it. This was a hopefully high of day play, but it doesn't seem to have done an awful lot. I should have really banked it. I probably had 0.5%. Excuse me. Probably had more than 0.5% actually, but I wasn't watching. I was trading the US dollar yen short, which I just got a very nice $1,000 off, back down into support. But not sure if we're going to hold here. So all of these yens that just rolled over, afternoon diamond, all these yens that just rolled over are all tapping into support at the moment. Blimey, look at New Zealand dollar yen. Wow, that one's not tapping into support. Pound yen, euro yen. So this is definitely yen strength we're seeing coming through now. CAD yen's tapped into support as well as US dollar yen. So we'll see if we can hold this. We've got reversal alerts across the board on all yen pairs, most of them looking like very nice M pattern reversals, but we will see. Afternoon, Adrian. See what happens on those. But it does look like there's some movement. US dollar started really strong in London, and we've sort of rolled over a little bit at the moment. Pound US dollar pushing up nicely. So weak US dollar this morning. We've got Lagarde speaking in 15 minutes. So we'll see if there's any news off the back of what she says ahead of the New York Open. And then we got Jordan this afternoon. So Jordan, I think, is probably going to be the most impactful, because there might be some info slip on the rate announcement for Thursday. Lagarde might as well actually, but that's 1:15. So a few bits of news that might do something this afternoon, but tentative links really. So all the other indices, we had nothing much this morning. We pushed up, obviously. That's kind of where we left off this morning, putting in these highs, and we've not really done a lot. So nothing particularly exciting to write home about on the indices during the London session. Gold came down hard, went into an accumulation. Oil, accumulation. So it's all done pretty much the same thing today. Nothing dramatic, but we are starting to move. So it's good that we got some volatility coming through. Just looking for some sustained volatility on this yen. Really, this is the main issue at the minute. Is this weak yen? But if you look at it, whoops, hang on. That's probably not the best time frame to look at because we can't see it. This is the first real signs of rejection we've had. We've had the odd pullback, but we've had some really decent volatility up and down today after this very big strong push. So this is the first volatility we've had off the back of a big strong move with 200% ADR on the pound yen. There's a few of these yens obviously we are massively extended on now. And we've put in really big ADR days, which is quite often what you see before a reversal starts to push in. We get a big, strong move, and then we get an accumulation, and then they drop it. So they'll quite often stop hunt this high and then drop. So this move here might have been the high stop hunt today. So fingers crossed we get some yen strength coming through this afternoon. Again, there's no real news that's going to spur this on, so it's just a case of hopefully we've got to the point where the market's had enough and it's ready to start some movement on the yen, some manipulation. US dollar yen, I took a trade on. Really nice short on that one. Back down into the support, as I said. We've rejected this area down here. So this is where we started this move up. We've tapped straight into this area and are rejecting at the minute. Obviously, we accumulated up at these highs and slammed through them. So potentially, if we get back up into here, we should hopefully see some sellers starting to step in. So key session, this New York session, to see if we can get some decent price action starting on these yens, but we'll see. So ADRs today, as you can see, loads. Aussie dollar yen, we're up at 150. Have just put in a reversal alert. So we did get a reversal alert here, but just got invalidated with a new high. So again, they came up and took the liquidity. So everyone started to get short. They came up, took them out, and now we've got another alert. So we're in the retest zone at the moment. So Aussie dollar yen looking good, up at 150 ADR. Aussie New Zealand just tapped into ADR today and bounced out. CAD yen, again, nice M pattern reversal. I took an aggressive position on this morning and got stopped out on it. I've taken another one up here somewhere. Don't know where I took it, but I took it somewhere up here. So looking to hold that one. If this is the top, looking good. Afternoon funnel. Yeah, so looking good. So market structure, high, low, lower high, lower low. Looking for a lower high. And then down. We've got to get through this accumulation though on this CAD yen. CAD yen is probably one of the worst ones at the minute. It's been absolutely relentless. Where we should have got some kind of pullback, we literally just got a day of accumulation and then a push. So really bad this one, but from an extension point of view. But that's a really nice looking reversal. Strongest one we've had so far. So yeah, again, looking good. We'll see if we can break through this accumulation though. We need to crack these lows. Double bottom here. If we can break that double bottom during New York, we've got really good chance of starting some moves to the downside. Swiss yen, 175 ADR on the Swiss yen. Really, really, really strong push on this one. Almost hit the 200. We've got a few 200s hit, but Swissy was really, really strong yesterday. We've had a continuation move on that, which has obviously driven this up much, much higher today. Euros, Euro yen, again, nice A-shaped reversal alert. Straight up, straight back down again. So we're looking for that retest, head and shoulders. You find a lot of these when we got these, obviously they look like head and shoulders. Bear in mind, most head and shoulders fail. Hopefully not these ones. Let's see. Euro New Zealand, just hit ADR, bounced off. It's just retesting at the minute. Pound yen, again, massive extension. Again, putting in a head and shoulders. Pound US dollar, massive volatility across the board today. It's really good. Nice reversal opportunity there on the pound. The pound's very difficult to understand what it's doing at the minute because obviously it's recovering from this drop that we got from the war, which we weren't expecting on the pound. Well, I wasn't expecting on the pound anyway. We've had the reversal alert. We're just tapping up into the 24 now. This is a strong level of potential resistance that we're heading to. I get this feeling the pound is going to weaken further. We've got the budget on Thursday. So we could well see a lot of volatility. So this may well just be a push at the moment up into areas to start next leg shorts. But we'll see. US dollar obviously has been fairly weak. We've seen a massive, not so massive, we've had a strong move in the euro. Obviously the euro US dollar is the inverse of the Dixie. So we've had a strong move on that, broken the neckline and supporting the neckline. There's a textbook neckline bounce. Yeah. So when you get a head and shoulders pattern, typically wherever the neckline is, when you break it, you retest the neckline, trend line and drop. So textbook one happening there. If we're going to continue to get a weak US dollar, that will obviously keep pushing up. New Zealand's, all the New Zealands, we've had lots of money piling into the New Zealand and the Aussie. All these New Zealands are extended, every single one. New Zealand dollar CAD, big, strong move. Pushing up to highs, just trying to see where we're potentially going. Yeah, we've got an accumulation here, which we are potentially running into as a resistance. So nice potential move back down here. Coming back up, and we're retesting the sellers here. So the sellers have stepped in a couple of times but been beaten back. So potentially this could be a good spot for continuation shorts on the New Zealand dollar, but we've had that massive swing on the COT report long on the New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar Swiss, that one's bounced off of 125. New Zealand yen is still pushing. Not quite sure what those lines are. No, it's those highs. So that high there, this high there, highs that I've drawn in, which we are tapping straight into now, massively extended on the RSI on the daily. Look, historically, RSI on the daily, up at these levels. Look at what normally happens. Yeah. Didn't get one there. Got a little bit of a drop there. Not a big one. And obviously collapse there. Yeah. So we're looking for a drop on the New Zealand dollar yen. Again, these are all potentially going to drop hard off of yen. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 solid up days on this New Zealand dollar. Absolutely exhausted. Yeah, we're due a pullback, due a profit take on this. So that's just tapped straight into resistance. So if you drop down to M15, you're about to get a reversal alert on that. If you drop down to M5, you've just got one. Oh no, you haven't actually. There was no downward price action in this move. So M15 and the M5 reversal are pretty much in the same spot. So yeah, very good. That New Zealand dollar yen looks like a lovely opportunity from many confluences. And we are at 225 ADR. We don't get there very often. Chances of going past it at 2%. Yeah, everything's lining up perfectly for a short on that. In fact, I'm going to open up my other platform and I think I'm going to play that. Oops. Sorry, bear with me. I can't do it over there. I can't do it over there where I am. I'm trying to manipulate this thing and I can't. It's up in the right up in the corner of my screen. 539. Bear with me a second. That's too big. Actually, I'm going to go smaller. I'm going to scale into it. So I'm just going to stick, basically, I'm not going to use the EA for this because I'm trading this on a bigger account. So that's $500 risk, roughly. This has got so far to drop. I don't really know where to put a TP on this, to be honest. Where do you put it? I mean, when this thing goes, it's going to go. We've got potential for this to go down pretty hard today. So I think we got a fair old decent drop on it. So I'm going to play that short New Zealand dollar yen. Just because we got so much confidence. We got the daily resistances being hit. We're extended on 4-hour, hourly, M15, H4 and ADR. We're just absolutely exhausted and this thing's got to start coming down at some point soon. So from a mean reversion perspective, from a risk reward point of view, this is kind of like a 5 or 6 to 1 risk reward with a very, very, very decent size stop on it. So looks like a really good trade, New Zealand dollar yen. US dollar yen equally. I've played this one already this morning, as I said. We're just pulling back at the moment. Potentially this is looking good. 200 ADR. Again, reversal alert, lovely M shape, retested, market structures going in beautifully. So it's all starting to move. We just need to hope we get this continuation. So yeah, loads of opportunities across the board on the ADRs today. RSIs, same thing. Aussie dollar Swiss. It's everything we looked at this morning, basically. Nothing's changed much. US dollar Swiss, just taken out the highs. We started to pull back. We didn't get back down into this support. We did tap into that level there. And we got the bounce. So potentially that could have been it. And we're going to get some continuations on this one. The Swiss franc, this was a fairly decent move down on the Swissy that we had yesterday, or move up rather, push on the Swissy. So the fact that we just taken out this high up here after showing some signs of weakness, potentially we could be seeing an uneven M pattern formations here. We haven't had much of a pullback on this. So that sort of move potentially, but obviously on a little bit of a smaller scale because the initial leg of the pullback's been quite small. So we are in an uptrend, obviously, on these Aussies. We've had no real sustained strength on the Swiss franc. So yeah, looking for basically shorts on that one as well. It's not quite as extended as the Aussie yen, but obviously that's based on the yen. So this is obviously a normal Aussie dollar extension. Aussie dollar yen, we know about these. We've looked at all of these. They are off the charts. So we've hit the 85s, 89. Oops. So we've got a couple of hours left on these candles. We may get some 90s. US dollar yen potentially and CAD yen potentially, but they are starting to pull back now. So I really get the feeling this might be the last push on all of these yens. So same across the board. CAD yen is coming off the highs very nicely. If you look at all the candlestick patterns we've had a shooting star there. Apart from that, we've had a couple of dojis there and nothing else. So that is the only sign of weakness we've had. So this is the first sign of potential weakness or strength of the yen we've had for literally a week and a half, 2 weeks now. A couple of weeks, really, basically. So looking good, looking exhausted, and obviously looking like we are starting to get a move. Nice wick to the upside, Swiss yen as well. Again, first sign of real selling pressure starting to come in, or profit taking, whichever way you want to look at it. Euro odd, we looked at these this morning, not really looking to long the euro, and Euro New Zealand, they're both the same thing. Up to you if you want to long these. There's nothing here to stop it, really, until you get down to the lows. So I can't really see any support or resistance we could play this from. So if you're going to long it, you really want to be looking at where you're going rather than where you're bouncing from, potentially for continuation legs down. Euro yen, obviously we know that's extended, again coming off the highs. Pound yen just starting to come off the highs. Pound's been really strong at the moment, so this one is not reacting as much as the rest are on this temporary yen strength. Pound's on a real mover at the moment. I suspect this is positioning ahead of the budget. So people are just loading or offloading pound as necessary ahead of the budget tomorrow, and obviously CPI tomorrow morning. CPI is expected to rise by 0.5%. Likely it's going to do that, potentially even more. So it's quite possibly not going to be good news for the pound tomorrow. So there's a few things reaching for support resistance levels. And potentially we could have a load of longs getting trapped here. We've got breakouts happening across the board. Everyone's going excellent. Pound's powering up. Pop back down as soon as you've got the long people trapped. So yeah, pound yen, obviously that one is extended. So this is a little bit of an anomaly. If we do get that pound weakness, obviously, and that yen strength at the same time, this is the one that's going to come down the hardest. New Zealand dollar yen, same thing, tapped in. So I've just put that on as a short, ready to jump into that one. When we get some signs of weakness. So my entry on that is at 83,500 basically. So yeah, it's below the low of this 4 hour candle really. Yeah, so that's where I'll be getting in. It's just, you know, half an ADR away from the highs basically. I want to see confirmation of we are going short. If it doesn't, I'm going to drag that up. I'm going to drag that entry up and I'm going to keep trailing these lows until it goes. Because when it goes, I just get the feeling, you know, we've seen it before, haven't we? When it goes, it doesn't go, it just goes. You literally, you'll be like that in an hour. There is no way you're catching that. By the time that candle's gone in, you're like, hang on a minute, I'm miles away from the high. And you missed the move. So I want to get gathered up on the way down on it. And US dollar yen, showing the bounce. Hourlies, all the same stuff. Aussie yen, CAD yen, Swiss yen, all still pushing. Euros, not really interested. Euro pound. Yeah, no, it's dropping. Pound yen, New Zealand CAD, we've just got extended on up at those highs. That might be worth having a look at if it gets a little bit more extended. If we get a little bit more strength on the New Zealand dollar, we can push up to 175, 200 ADR today. We'll get that extended above the 75 level probably on the RSI. We are at the moment, oh, that's on the 15. Yeah, a little bit more of a push on that. We've got an opportunity maybe to get a little bit more extended on that New Zealand dollar CAD. That's a really nice looking short. We've got this massive propulsion gap that's been put in today. Quite often we see this over and over again. We come back and fade those on the day. Or within a couple of days, we just fade them. We've had a couple of them recently, haven't we, where we've just had these big strong moves and they just basically gradually grind and fade back, fill the gap and then do what they like from there. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, same sort of thing, looking for a fade move on that one. So lots of opportunities setting up, depending on obviously how you want to trade. But I think at the moment New Zealand dollar yen's my favourite, just because we've got that confluence with these daily highs here. We've tapped into it. Literally, you couldn't do it any more to the pip, could you? This is basically 84. Oops. Round number. Straight off. So we'll see if it can hold 84. Right, we've got 3 minutes to the open. So that's all the FX pairs covered. Gold, not going anywhere really. Oil, crypto, bit of a push up on the cryptos. Dow this morning, we had that push up. So all the indices this morning, we had that push. We literally had the opening hour move and then we've consolidated since then. So not really. Aussie dollar CAD's just hit ADR as well. Not really gone anywhere on those. What's that I've got drawn in? Double top drawn in there, which we are approaching. So that's the potential double top on the S&P. Nasdaq. Those are from something else. So Nasdaq, these highs, be looking for some kind of resistance up at the recent highs. Dow, same thing, we're looking for resistance at the highs. And the DAX, I've got that sell on obviously already. I think we've probably put in the high of the day potentially on the DAX already. But we will see where we go at the open, which is in a couple of minutes. So going to watch the Dow. So we are still pushing up on the Dow at the minute. So let's have a quick look at levels on the Dow. So we've got two potential levels for reaction points coming up. And obviously got those levels drawn in from earlier this morning on the DAX. So that was the previous high, and then we got the previous 3 days highs, all very, very close to each other. So if we do get pushes up into this area, we're looking for a green to red day today. Potentially, or we could just sit and hover. You know, who knows at the moment. GU going up, yeah. Pound is going up against US dollar. US dollar's weak at the minute. Ooh, big move out the gates. Okay, so Dow's just tapped straight into that initial resistance. Nasdaq's coming down hard at the open. Good strong move on the Dow, being rejected. Nas is pushing up again now. Quite strong. Stopped out on that DAX at break even. Should have banked that this morning. Wasn't paying attention. It's kind of a longer term play. I was looking for, you know, the big move down, but didn't quite manage to get it this morning. Okay, so we've got today's high and yesterday's high on the Nasdaq, not far away. Okay, going short one on the Dow. Just watching the FTSE coming down really hard. And Nasdaq's entering an area of potential resistance. So we accumulated and then dropped. And this is where this down move during London started. We're getting resistance here. It's worth a shot short. S&P rejection the highs. Still got a minute left on these candles, though. It's a little bit early to jump in, but hey, I like jumping in early at the open. Sometimes you get the best trades at the open if you can. You got, like I said this morning, got 50-50 shot of being right at the open. If you get it right, it can be very, very, very rewarding. If you get it wrong, you get another crack. Okay, so opening ranges are in. Nice and tight opening range on the DAX this afternoon. It's entering another pending order underneath these lows. US dollar looks like it's fairly weak at the open. So NAS is pushing on the highs again. Screamed through it. Okay, stopped out on that one. Wow, new highs. So 34,810 is the next level of interest, which will be highs of the week. So this whole area here is a very, very, very well used support resistance area. So very strong. If we're staying in this bear market, very strong potential for resistance. NAS is screaming out the highs. Not interested in stopping at all. Lagarde says the crypto assets are certainly being used to try and evade sanctions. We saw that. A load of money dumped into crypto when the sanctions were put in place. So a lot of Russian money popped into crypto. Hasn't really gone anywhere though. Just putting some sell stops in place. Just anticipating a quick move out of this area potentially. There's a lot of absorption going on up here. We've not managed to get any higher. We've got the opening range break just. But there's a lot of sellers stepping in on all assets at the minute. So weakness in the US dollar. So I'm looking for Euro US dollar to put a move to the downside in, just showing some US dollar strength, which will help to drive the indices down a little bit. So we'll see what happens up in this area. But struggling to go higher. NAS is coming down fairly nicely at the moment. So DAX were pretty much at the previous day's high, which is where we were here. So a little bit of room for movement up. S&P, we just cracked that level. So let's see if we get a reaction there. NAS, yesterday's high and this previous support resistance. And this will be day 6 up if we get an update today on the NAS and the S&P, which is a lot without having a breather. Just getting some, just getting a position short ready on the Dow. So we've got a lot of rejection here, a lot of resistance to any moves higher at the minute. We are still pushing higher, but there's it's not going out the gates at the moment, is it? Like we've had. See if we can crack this high here on the Dow. If we make that high, she'll probably look for pullback and long, but said yesterday, didn't I? We're due a rest. We are still due a rest. So market's really, really, really strong at the moment. Not getting the big collapse that we're all sort of anticipating at the minute. Nas has just put a new low in on that candle. So we're stepping back into this potential buy area at the moment. See how that holds up. That will give us a clue as to where the Dow may be going. DAX is rolling over at the highs, at the opening range high. Blimey. Still long. Okay, so just taking out last week's high. Nasdaq is trying very hard to get bearish engulfing on this initial move up. We have broken these lows, these highs rather. So if we can get a break there and then a reversal alert. It's very, very choppy, difficult to decide which way it's going to go. Wow. Dow is definitely wanting to go long today. Okay, take one long on the DAX. It doesn't look like we're going short, does it? Looks like it wants to push the highs. Blimey. I'm going to leave these pendings in place over here, just in case. China's just locked up another 7 million residents due to COVID. So now as we've got a bit of rejection down here, we are pushing new lows. Ugh, sod's law. Okay, so see if we are going to continue higher. We're going to come down and test the opening range low and the moving averages before we go. If not, I just got stopped out. Oh no, I haven't actually. Haven't entered yet. See if we can hold these lows on the DAX. Tricky today, isn't it? Again, it's always tricky, but good strong close candle. Want to see a bit of a pullback on this really before getting in any long positions. So we've already done 152 pips, which was kind of the whole first hour on the Dow this morning. So no further advancement on the yen. We've just gone into an accumulation on the yen. I haven't changed my sessions indicator, as you can see. It still thinks we're in the London session. The reason I don't bother doing that is because we've only got 2 weeks and the clocks move forward again on Sunday this week. So I never bother changing the session indicator because it all goes resets back to normal on Sunday. So. This looks like a nice long on the Nasdaq as well. We're rejecting this low. Getting bought up at the minute. Buying pressure coming through. Got 30 seconds left on these candles. Just going to see where these candles close. Might look to get another long position on the DAX. Should really be trading the Dow, but I can't really chase it up here. It's too far too far gone. I don't want to take a long when it's this extended. But the DAX obviously has moved a lot less, so it's easier to take a long on this one. Mind you, I'm on a long already. Maybe we'll go above the highs. Second position above the highs. Weak US dollar. So basically sitting in 15 minutes of accumulation at the moment. Pushed up out the opening range highs and basically no directional bias yet after that initial push. So you'd have to say at the moment it looks long, but not really too much evidence of it apart from a couple of wicks at the minute. Now we're rejecting down. It's 4 long wicks in a row. Very bullish. Afternoon, Victoria. Cool, this is like watching paint dry this morning. This afternoon even. Wish I knew what time of day it was. NAS is looking bullish, but we're not going anywhere yet. So still definitely looking like we've got a lot more buyers stepping in at the minute, but US indices are struggling to make new highs. Then FTSE has just made a new high. But struggling. Dow's looking like it's coming down. Virtual, can you share RSI, all level 1 to 100, how it works properly? Not sure what you mean by that. How it works? Well, it's the relative strength index, so it measures the strength between the instrument, basically strength of the instrument. So moves up and down as volume and movement happens in the instrument you're measuring. So it's just kind of like momentum. Google, if you want to know what the RSI is, but typically it's used in stocks as an overbought, oversold indicator. When you've had too much movement in one direction, stocks tend to sell off. And equally, when you've had too much downward movement in one direction, they tend to become cheap and people buy them. But I use it in FX to measure how long and hard a movement has been, because I expect people to take profit after strong movement so they can make money. Pushes to the highs on the Nasdaq. I'm tempted to take a little Dow long here, but we still haven't got out of these highs on the Dow. The Nas is moving nicely. The FTSE is moving nicely. The DAX is trying hard to move nicely, but and the S&P is going well, but the Dow's stuck at the minute. If I've misunderstood your question, just clarify what you mean by share it. Not quite sure what you mean there, but so just got gathered up into that second long. Should really have put that above those highs. That was a bit of a silly move, but okay. Dow's attempting new highs. And failing. I'm just going to cancel all these pending shorts off. By the time I get down to those short entries, it'll have moved too far ready for a pullback. So I'm just cancelling those off at the minute. Need to see where this is going. Not really got any directional bias at the minute until we've broken out of these highs and got some confirmation we're going long. The NAS and the S&P are the only things moving at the moment. Making new highs. But we're stuck at the moment on the Dow and the DAX. Some decent volumes just started to come in there. Nasdaq's about to put in a strong close, right up at the highs. It's closing on the highs. Decent movement on all the other indices. Would be the two that I picked to watch that are moving slow today, wouldn't it? So in theory, we may well get a pullback on everything now. FTSE's just made new highs as well. That's just pulling back at the minute. There we go. DAX is starting to move now out the highs. So approaching higher day. And then we've got 3 levels here that we're interested in, which is Friday's high, Monday's, and Tuesday's kind of open, really. That's not Tuesday, that's Wednesday. Tuesday. So basically, high of the week last week and Friday's high. Where potentially you're looking for some resistance. So I've not got far to go on this before potentially hitting some resistance. Assuming we can get higher of the day in. Dow's still not interested, is it? Just moving my stops up underneath the opening range low. Just reduce a little bit of risk. In case we get a catastrophic one of those. Nice is still pushing highs. Okay. Struggling up here. I'm just watching the NAS and the S&P like a hawk, just seeing what they're doing up at these highs. Real indecision, no direction at the minute. We just kind of, you can see we're ticking a lot up here, ticking up and down, up and down, up and down. It's like that. There's a massive accumulation going on, real fight for long and shorts up there. Someone's going to win in a minute. Blimey. Right, so we're 25 minutes in and we've managed to crack 5 pips out of the high on the DAX from that opening range high break. I might say from there really, but 16 pips, but we're not getting anywhere. FTSE's finding support on the 50 moving average. So the FTSE's putting in nice structure at the moment. So looking bullish. NAS is making new highs. S&P is just making new highs as well. Trying to. There we go. Go on, you can do it. Maybe you can't. Okay, it's triple top forming on the S&P. $4,500 rejection. So a big round number on the S&P. If we crack that level, we get a little pop through the top of that. We should be going off, but it's rejected that 4,500 flat. See if we can get a pop through. There we go. There we go. Okay. Still not very convincing, is it? There's a lot of sellers eating up there. Oh, what a horrible market. Come on, give us an indication of where you're going, will you? FTSE's coming down. NAS has stalled. S&P stalled. Dow literally has got no clue where he wants to go today at all. Sitting in a holding pattern around the airport. I'm moving my stops to break even on this. Don't like it. We're not going anywhere. We're really struggling to make new highs up here. Every time it's like a real battle just to get above the wick of the previous candle on a lot of these indices at the moment, especially the Dow. So I'm just going to protect it in case. I just got this feeling we're going to see a big sell-off in a minute for some reason. We're just struggling. Just protecting my position just in case. I don't really want to take a 1% loss on this. We're also, obviously we're approaching potentially support. So we've got a new high of the day on the DAX. Something's moving. Still can't make highs on the Dow though. Okay, US dollar looks like it's starting to power up a little bit. So we've rejected those highs. We're pushing down. We haven't managed to get new lows in yet. But it's attempting. If we can get a big, strong movement on the US dollar, we should see some movement to the downside. Sorry, to the upside on the indices. Which will help a little bit, but everything's a little bit stuck at the moment. I'm just getting ready to get out of this DAX. I'm going to give this candle to close. Just see where it closes. No, I'm getting out. I'm going flat. Excuse me. I don't like this. Is this stalling out the highs here? So there's your high of the day. We just put in doji, which is completing indecision candle. So we've got a long push, doji forming. If this forms as a bear candle, this is a 3-bar reversal, which is bearish. We're really struggling constantly up at these highs. This level is where I was expecting us to stall out today. We broke through. So we're already higher than I thought we were going to get today. We've got 3 strong resistances ahead of us. So I think we could just be stalling out up here, but I'm going to wait and see if we can see some signs of some bearish price action. But I'd rather just bank that 0.3%. Lost 0.5% on the initial trade, so I'm down 0.2 on the session, which brings me up to 0.5% on the day. So still positive for the day, but not going anywhere. Can't make money if we're not moving. Dow's coming down now. What's time? We've got an hour yet until Jordan speaks. That could well have an impact on the DAX today as well. 3:15, so just be aware of that if you're trading the DAX today. Going with the sell stop under the lows. We are rolling over nicely on this now. So short on the Dow. We are still bullish, obviously, but we've had a big strong push today. And a second leg push up already. So we've had quite a decent move without any kind of pullback. We've got a long way to go to ADR though, so a bit of a risky short up here, but we've just taken out these lows. So if we break down below these lows here, we're looking for move somewhere down to there. If I can grab sort of 0.2, 0.3% down there, I will. Counter trend. But I'm still short bias on the day on all of these. Just don't seem to be getting any let up. But it's proving very, very hard work. Yeah, the buyers are really struggling. Again, when I keep talking about heavy market, this feels heavy at the minute. It's like pulling teeth trying to grind higher. You've got all these wicks to the downside pushing price up, but there's a lot of selling pressure. You know, for 25 minutes there, we could not make a new high. Although there is buying pressure, there's a lot of selling pressure coming through. Yeah, trying to make new highs on the day. Sellers are stepping in, not interested in letting the buyers run away with it today at all. And quite often you'll find when you get to this situation, the buyers will just dry up and you'll just get that boom, which is why I wanted to cover that long. You just get that, it will just move, it will go, and you'll get that one big candle and then it will start and it will just tumble down from there. just feels like it's heavy at the minute, but it is counter trend. This is the trouble with obviously trying to trade counter trend. You are against the overall movement of the market, but when you catch it, it can be very, very, very rewarding, as we saw yesterday with that massive short I had when Powell started talking. Has that high gone? 14,500's gone on the DAX. Should have stayed in. Never mind. Could be one of those get it wrong days today. Okay, so there's Friday's high just being tested. So this is where every time we've pushed up into this area, yeah, we're finding sellers starting to kick in. Market for the last week hasn't wanted to crack this 14,500 level on the DAX. I'm tempted to take a second position here with a fairly tight stop on it. So a fairly aggressive position. Just watching the DAX coming down. And just watching the other indices as well. NAS is stalling out. Particularly like the DAX up there. So we've rejected that high. We've rejected today's high. Candle's not closed yet, but maybe what I'll do is just take one on DAX rather than doubling up on the Dow trade. Go the sell stop under the lows on the DAX. Okay, so Doji. Now it's made new highs. S&P made new highs. US dollar yen is pushing up. CAD yen's not going anywhere. So yen has stalled out. No strength on the yen. Not weak either though. Not any move. Just not any movement basically. Tough. What's everybody think? Where are we going today? Are we up at the highs? Should we be selling it hard up here, or should we be trying to crack a breakout of these highs? Got into a short on GU M5 ADR reversal. Yeah, that's nice. 150 ADR. Apart from that level there, which we're at right now, I mean, there's a few levels you can kind of pick which may be resistive. That one particularly, where we've got that gap. So it's accumulation break there. Somewhere around there. Oh. 95. So yeah, 3/4 of an ADR. Come on, make your mind up. Long or short? Stop just hovering. David, also going to the NAS at 14,475. Yeah, I mean, it's still going, but it's, if I was you, if you've got that much profit and I'd take that off. Depends how long you're holding it for, obviously, but there's plenty of movement to the upside on it still. Okay, Dow's starting to come down. And the DAX is starting to go up. Utter confusion today, isn't it? Not good. Not a happy market. Got no news. This is the trouble. There's no news. We've got nothing to move the market in a minute. Using the EA to attempt aggressive DD control using the M15 order block as the entry, and the high-low for stop loss might have a chance of working it. Yeah. Still got that aggressive move on CAD yen. Not gone anywhere since I took it. I took it up here. Really sluggish. So Dow is attempting new lows. Attempted to make a new low, rather, I should say. didn't manage it. Made a new low on the previous candle. It's progress. Oh, this is like pulling teeth. DAX still pushing higher. Well, it's not pushing higher, it's pushing on the highs. Wow, I really have picked the slug here, haven't I? Oh my god. Should have traded the NAS today. Or the S&P. Either or. Nope. I picked the Dow. Okay, NAS pushing up onto the 72 now. So we're also approaching the 200 on the daily. 200 on the daily is usually, as you can see, quite an important level. So it's our third test of the 200 since we entered the bear market. So again, somewhere around here today, tomorrow, maybe, if we are going to continue to have another update today, this is where potentially we could start to see this retracement kicking in. And I'm saying retracement because I don't know if it is going to be a reversal or a retracement yet. But certainly getting to the point where we should start to see it moving. S&P, we've broken that level convincingly now. So good strong move to the upside. So where are we going? 45.89 on the S&P is an invalidation of market structure. So if we break these highs, we're potentially switching back to a bull market. We are potentially switching back to a bull market already, in fact, because we've got new high put in. So the market structure short term is long now. But this level here is obviously the previous strong support resistance we've got to crack. So there's nothing really between where we are now and this level for the S&P to get stopped at. NASDAQ, obviously, we have got levels. Can anyone accept a good broker that accepts US clients? I don't know. I can't because I'm not in the US. I'm going short one on the DAX. I'm just reducing the risk on it down. I'm just looking basically for a little bit of a push back down in the opposite direction. We need a little pullback on this, I think. But just looking to grab sort of 0.2, 0.3% short. I've had a decent strong push, just made new highs. Bullish engulfing just gone in on the Dow as well. I've got this wrong today. No idea where this is going today. If it's going to continue to make new highs, I'm not long in it, because as soon as I start long in it, it's going to collapse. I can't get this. I can't get a read on this today at all. Dow's just stuck. Every time it looks like it wants to release a bit of pressure, it's just getting bought up, getting sold off. We're just sitting in accumulation, and to me, looks like this could break to the highs. Everything's kind of pointing long at the minute. It's just frustrating today. And I don't want to get stuck over trading. So if I get stopped out on this one and the DAX, I'm going to call it a day. That'll be 0.5 down out of the Dow. Bruno, Naz, 14,625 and 14,675 potential resistance. Yeah, I mean, you've got a couple of levels coming up. 14,670, I would say that level there, somewhere around there, is potential resistance on the NAS. Potentially, but it's not a particularly good one. It's a high there, but it's not. It's been respected there. So we've got a wick test on it there. A little bit of a bounce there. It's accumulated around it. But yeah, somewhere around here potentially is the next stop. It's just so slow today. It's just, you know, just very. The whole market is just very, very, very sluggish at the moment. Dow just basically whipped up, stopped me out, and reversed. Look, it's choppy and horrible. I hate it when it's this slow, because it just causes you to try and find entries. Just waiting for the movement. I've got the short on the Dow, so on the DAX rather. Got an additional add below these highs. So if this position I've got on up here holds, and we're roughly up where we're going to start today's pullback, and I would be looking for a potentially low below the Frankfurt session. I'll have two positions on short, which will get me back to about 0.5% up. But if this one stops out, I don't really want to keep pushing this market. It's a tough one to make money long on, because it's very, very choppy on the way, and it tends to scare you out of the market. It's much easier if we get a short move starting, because the short move will be much, much faster. And I want to short it today, but just taking forever to get anywhere. FTSE's doing the same thing. So the NAS is the only thing that's moving, really. It's a slug. Let's have a quick look, whiz through the FX pairs, see where we are. So Aussie dollar pushing up on the CAD, accumulating there. Aussie New Zealand's come off of the RS ADR nicely. Oops. Sorry, I was just moving in position. CAD Swiss, nice push down. So this is weakness on the CAD, while the Aussie CAD's moving up. So CAD Swiss, nice move down. CAD Yen stalled. Swiss Yen stalled. All these Yens kind of stalled. More bearish than bullish in the last hour. So going in the right direction at least. Euro's looking a little bullish, not dramatically. Again, very, very tight range going on at the moment. Euro US dollar's pushing up. We've got a bit of a weak US dollar, but we're pushing down a little bit at the moment. FTSE's coming down. DAX is starting to drop a little bit as well. We have got some bearish movement coming on the European markets, so the US markets are still sideways. Pound's doing well at the moment, but again, stalling a little bit at present. Obviously, we expect this because we're up at ADRs and 150, 170, 200% ADR extensions today, so we would expect the market to be stalling out, not pushing any further. New Zealand dollar CAD stuck up at 125. New Zealand Swiss has come off the highs nicely. New Zealand Yen stalled. New Zealand Yen, what's my entry on that? 83.5. So still got a bit of a way to go before we get into that short. New Zealand US starting to push down. Stuck on the US dollar CAD. Stuck. Everything's stuck. So after those initial moves, we're just basically on a go slow at the moment. So I'm going to ride this DAX. Either I'm 0.5% down. I think if I can get back to break even today, I'll be very happy. If I can get 0.5% out of this today, I'll be ecstatic. The way this is moving at the minute. So I'm going to see if I can get gathered up on a break of these lows for a second position. If I can pull back down to around about the 50, I should have a good 0.5% plus on the table. And I'll probably close it off down there in case we're going to get a bounce, assuming we can get a deep pullback, because at the minute it's just a bit sluggish, isn't it? We've got news at 3:15. Jordan is speaking, which is in half an hour. So potentially that could shake up the DAX. So depending on what happens, obviously, if we get a decent, strong move to the downside, which puts a couple of decent candles in, just about to get gathered up into that second position. Nice slippage there. There we go. There's the 0.4. If we can get a decent movement down in the next half an hour and hold, I may well move to break even on these. I'm 0.5% down. If Jordan says something that dumps the DAX, there's a good opportunity to make 1% or 2%. So that's kind of my plan, I think. Try and play it down to these lows and bank it. But I want to get ahead of myself so that I can move it to break even without the risk of getting stopped out on a pullback. So if we can get a bit of a pullback and then some kind of accumulation down here, I'll play break even. If it looks like if we get a big hammer or something put in, then I'll probably just get out with whatever I've got. But I've got the 0.5% back at the moment with those open positions, but we'll see. Tough. DAX, FTSE's come down and made, FTSE's basically just made a new low on the last hour. We've got a bit of rejection showing now on the Dow as well. So we are getting a bit bearish, but obviously all the long buyers are going to get in here. Let's see if the bull's going to step in or not. Got 15 minutes left on this hourly candle as well. So a little bit more yen strength starting to show. Oops. That CAD yen short is looking good as well. Hopefully we get some new lows put in today. That will really help with that one. Give it another 5 minutes or so. And then I might call it a day rather than just sitting here watching paint dry. So we're either in a pullback long situation at the moment, or we have just shifted market structure short. And we are looking for lows. So when I say shifted market structure short, I mean reversal alert. So looking for retest and new low. Can I take a quick look at GA? Days of accumulation. Yeah, we're stuck down at these lows here. There's a few pairs that are like this at the minute on these pounds where we're just stuck. We broke that low on this big move down. So this candle here at the minute is really where we're at. So until we get a break either way on this this candle here, yes, like you say, we are sideways. So got extended on the daily all the way back there when the obviously the war all started, and then we got that massive dump week. So at the minute we're waiting for some directional bias, so it's going to be tomorrow basically, I suspect. They're not going to dump a load into the market until the CPI figures have come out. So tomorrow morning 7:30, is it CPI tomorrow? 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, CPI, when the DAX opens. That's probably the catalyst we're waiting for on that. And then obviously it's the budget tomorrow. So there shouldn't be any surprises in the budget. To be honest, I can't really remember trading through the budget. I've never really paid much attention to it because it's all kind of announced. We know it all beforehand. The news, it'll be on the news tonight what's going to happen in the budget tomorrow. It's no surprises, no shocks. It does tend to manipulate the market a little bit, but CPI is the thing I think that's going to affect us tomorrow, because obviously if the consumer price index is higher than expected, that is where we will see some movement. But I would suspect, typically, I would suspect us to break high. We are holding this level nicely at the minute. Yeah, so the market is definitely not interested in going shorter than that at the moment. But equally, we're not interested in long yet either, are we? So difficult. The pound is really hard because I'm kind of long bias on the pound. I just wasn't expecting that. We basically jumped into bed with the euro as the war kicked off, and we haven't recovered. So if you look at something like the euro odd, got a much stronger recovery than we did. So we lost out big time off of that. Thank you, Mr. Putin. So, but then again, it did also drop a lot further. Yeah, I mean, this is the one we were looking at, wasn't it? Like we got down to 2 on the RSI. Never been there. Never. Ever, I don't think. Not even in the financial crash. I don't think we got 2 on anything. So, real anomaly. Pushing up again. The DAX. No, I don't think anybody was expecting it. David, you have any favourite EPL soccer team? I'm a Liverpool fan. No, I don't. I don't follow football at all. I used to when I was younger, but no, I don't anymore. I just didn't get into it. But I was Arsenal and Liverpool when I was younger. My uncle was an Arsenal fan and my best mate was a Liverpool fan. So, of course, I adopted Arsenal and Liverpool. But I didn't have one or the other. It was both, really. And I live close to Brighton. So, Brighton Hove Albion, obviously. But back then, they were crap. So, they weren't in the Premier League. We're definitely stalling out here again. Oh, I should have taken that 0.5%, shouldn't I? Moving to break even on this. I'm not going to take any loss on it. Either I'm not going to get anything on it or it's going to work. I'm not going to take any risk on it. So what I might do, what's that? 0.2 is 10, 20, 30. That'd be 0.6. I was just going to move my TP for just over 0.5%, but I don't think I'm actually going to get the chance. I think it's just going to stop me out. Thinking about it. Okay, NAS and the S&P stalled for the last 20 minutes. Dow, as we know, we're not going anywhere on at the minute. We're definitely waiting for something, aren't we? On the rest of these indices. Wondering if they're waiting for Jordan. Obviously, it's this is obviously European indices, so the Swiss National Bank is going to have much more impact on the Swissy, on the Swissy and the Dow, the DAX, than it went on the US indices. I'm just confused as to why the Dow has literally, we've had 15-minute push and we've just completely stalled out. There's just nothing happening on the Dow stocks at all. Come on, just want one trade. That's all I want, one trade. Just do that. That says 5 ton, not ST, by the way. Yeah, just pop down there and then I'll get out, promise. I'll leave you alone for the rest of the day. Fine, I won't. Stopped out. I'll give it up on this today. I can't trade it. It's not moving where I want it to go. And can't really get any positions on. Nothing's moving fast enough for me to get any positions on. The only thing that is moving fast is the S&P and the NASDAQ, and hasn't given any pullbacks apart from that initial move, which is what I traded here. Hasn't given any pullbacks to give an opportunity to get in long. So just basically picked the wrong instruments today. Haven't got any opportunities to get in. I'm pretty much sure that that is now going to tank because it stopped me out. So I think I'm going to leave it there at the minute. What I might do is we got 315. We got Jordan speaking on the SMB. So there is a potential there for us to get a new spike. So depending on where we are, I told you, look, literally took me out. So what I might do is just wait and see where we are. And if we're kind of sitting in this range in the next 15 minutes, which potentially we will be, I might stick a straddle order on, long and short, just below this low and just above that high, and just see if anything is said that may give some hints to any change on the monetary policy for Thursday. Because obviously if there is going to be any changes, we may well get a big sharp move in one direction or the other, and you know it could well be a very, very, very big move. So that's probably the only other trade I'm going to try this afternoon, just straddling the DAX, because obviously the DAX is what's going to move off the back of the SNB. So can't really see much else to do today. I don't trust the Dow. Every time it looks like it wants to short, it pops back up. And every time it looks like it wants to go long, it's just chopping, range bound, no directional bias. And like I said, missed the opportunity on the other two, so haven't really got anything else I can trade this afternoon. But I'm still short bias, so that does look like a lovely short to me, but I thought that last time. And it is counter trend, so one of those sitting on your hands days. So 0.5% down today, which is nothing. And we'll basically see if I can get that trade on this afternoon on the DAX. I'll put a message in the Telegram group if I'm going to take anything else, but I don't really want to trade this afternoon. It's just not very friendly, is it? So I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:50. Tomorrow morning is CPI. So tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., hour before Frankfurt open, we've got CPI figures coming out. So that's potentially the big move of tomorrow for the pound, obviously ahead of Bailey at 12 o'clock, along with Powell, which is around about the time the budget is released. We don't get a time on the budget. We will do tomorrow. And that'll obviously be telegraphed, broadcast live on the telly. And then we've got crude tomorrow afternoon. And then ahead of that, obviously SMB on Thursday. So tomorrow morning and Thursday is really when we're going to get the most of the bulk of our movement this week. So just be aware of that if you're holding any pound positions. And obviously keep an eye on those yens. If you've got any yens which you're squeezed on and struggling with, we just made a new low there on the Dow. Just. So we are starting to roll over. Hey, look at that. That is just... Oh, just makes you sick, doesn't it? So yeah, so just obviously if you've got any these yens on, just keep an eye on these yens. We may get some movement during tomorrow. So if you need to get any aggressive positions on, obviously get them on. We are at massive extremes at the moment, and we are showing signs of potential weakness starting to come through. Dax, I hate you. So this could be the start of the pullback or profit take or complete collapse, and everything dropping down. So keep your eyes peeled on these yens. We've still got lots of opportunities on these, I think, at the moment, just waiting for some decent movement. We've made it into the 90s, yeah. Very, 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 very rare that. Lucky if you see it once a month, once a quarter, maybe. This is the second time in the last few weeks we've seen that happening. So big, big, big moves happening at the moment on everything based on this war. I can't believe it. It's all starting to sell off. I have got one short on there. So I took a sneaky one on up at those highs, basically, with a really tight stop on it. I was quite lucky on that one. So can't count that one. But yeah, that's coming down nicely now. So don't take that straddle trade now on that. We are starting to sell off. So I'll be looking for pullback shorts now officially. That was hideous. I've been trying to get in short on that and that for the last hour and a half. Typical. 3 o'clock. That's the hourly candle move, basically. So hourly candle. This is new price action coming in off the back of the hour. So hopefully that will continue down. Right, so I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'll be back at 7:50 tomorrow morning, ready to trade the Frankfurt session. Keep your eyes peeled on, obviously, the indices. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for pullback plays this afternoon, but just be very careful around about 3:15 on the DAX. We could see some decent volatility there. All right, have a good one. Hopefully you make some money this afternoon, and I will be back tomorrow morning at 7:50.